Okay, our topic today is about installment trading. It means buying goods on credit, okay? Or you can think of it as buying now and pay later, okay? Because it's on credit. Okay, now installment trading is one type of buying goods on credit, okay? Buy now, pay later, okay? It allows the customer to buy an item by paying a deposit first and then paying the balance later in installment, okay? For example, now the goods is $2,000, you pay $1,000 deposit and then the remaining 1,900 in installment. But on top of that, you need to pay an interest, okay? Now, why installment trading? Okay, often customer may want to buy a product but do not have enough money. Now, can you think of one product that customer cannot afford to pay right away? Yes, for example, like a car, right? A car can be what, like 20,000, 30,000, right? Now, in order to compete for more sales, businesses encourage buyers to pay in installments, okay? That is, you buy now and then you pay later in installments, okay? Monthly installment, like for example, 1 month you pay 500, okay? Like that. So usually an interest is charged, okay, on top of the money you have to pay. You have to pay an additional amount which we call the interest. Now there are two types of installment trading, okay? Two types of buying goods on credit. Number one is called the hire purchase, and number two is called the deferred payment. Hire purchase, okay. So what's hire purchase? Hire purchase is an arrangement a buyer makes with the seller and his financial, okay. This one, the financial is mostly the bank, okay, to make payment for goods bought by installment over a certain period of time, okay. For example, he bought a car, so we have the seller here and the finance is the bank, okay. The customer uses the goods immediately but does not become the owner until the final installment is paid, okay. So after you pay a deposit, you can use the car immediately already, okay, but you are not considered the owner yet, okay, until you pay fully all the installments, okay. You are considered only hiring the use of the goods by paying a monthly fee until you complete the final payment, okay. So in this hire purchase, there are three parties normally involved, which is the buyer or the hire, which is you, okay, you are hiring, okay, the use of the car, the seller who sell you the car, and the financial, which is normally the bank, okay, who advance the money, or we call the hire purchase, okay, the money to the buyer, okay, for buying the car. So all the parties involved must sign a hire purchase agreement, okay. This agreement, all three of them, this one, and this one, you must sign it, okay, you must sign. And the agreement will tell you the duration of repayment, is it 5 years, 7 years, and so on, the amount you have to pay, and the number of installments, like for example, monthly, like 500, and then you have to pay for how many years, like that, okay. So deferred payment, okay. Deferred payment is an arrangement between the buyer and the seller so that the payment of goods can be extended. That's why you see from the word defer. Defer means to delay, okay, until a certain time, okay, defer to delay. That's why the payment of goods can be extended, okay, or deferred or delay over a certain number of installment, meaning you extend, okay, you delay or you extend or you defer it so that you can stretch longer, okay, in paying the amount. So in deferred payment transaction, the buyer becomes the owner of the goods immediately after the agreement has been signed and the first payment met, okay. So after you sign the agreement and you've paid up the first payment, you are considered the owner already, okay. Now the seller himself can be the financial, or he can arrange for a deferred payment loan for the buyer. So over here, the seller himself can be the financial, meaning to say he's just like in the position of the bank, okay? The loan is from the seller, okay? Or he can arrange for the bank, okay, for the bank to be involved, okay. But normally for this the seller himself, okay, is the financial, because this deferred payment is normally for lower resale value items, okay. So the seller himself can normally be the financial, okay. So what's the difference between a hire purchase and a deferred payment? So as we speak, hire purchase, the buyer does not own the goods. He's only considered hiring, okay, until he paid the full amount. Whereas for deferred payment, the buyer becomes the owner once he signed the agreement, okay, and has actually made the first payment. For the hire purchase, the buyer cannot transfer the ownership of the goods while on hire purchase, okay. So the ownership is right now still under the name of the bank, okay, the financial. And this one, the deferred payment, the buyer can sell the goods even though he has not yet paid the full installment. So this one, if the buyer fails to pay, the financial, which is the bank, can repossess the goods, okay. But this one, the seller cannot repossess the goods if the buyer fails to pay. What he can do, he can sue the buyer for the debts, okay. That's why deferred payment is normally for goods with less value, okay, while this one is for more heavily priced, okay, goods. Hire purchase is suitable for expensive goods with good resale value like cars and so on, okay, like I mentioned, okay. That's why he's only considering hiring, okay. And this is only suitable for goods with low resale value, for example, like travel packages, spa treatment, wedding gown, jewelry, and so on, okay. So example of hire purchase items, for example, like car, electrical items, refrigerator, maybe 4,000, 5,000, maybe expensive refrigerator. Deferred payment example, we could have like travel package. You see, travel now and pay later, okay? And installment plan, you can pay in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and so on, okay? So they will work out different plans for you. If you plan to pay in 6 months, then you have to pay a higher amount of installments. If you choose to pay over 24 months, then you pay less amount, okay, a smaller amount, but maybe a higher interest. Okay, so in installment trading, interest is normally charged. The interest calculation is affected by various factors. Okay, so example, the duration period of repayment. So how long, okay, you take to repay the amount, the percentage of interest to be charged, the number of installments required to prepay the items, and the method of calculating the interest, okay.